My name's Mike, and I'm going to show you my Moto van build, which is definitely not ready to be seen yet, but I've been getting a lot of requests from people who have helped me with stuff that they want to see where I'm at, so I'm going to show it to you. Also, even though this is my van, the cameraman, who is also Mike, he's the master carpenter who did everything, so he really deserves all the credit, but I'm just going to use the word we for now on. All right, we're gonna take a look at some of the things we did back here. One thing we did is we added these LED lights to the back here, and Mike wired them into the reverse light, so when you stick in reverse they turn on, and when you're just driving in regular time they're off. They definitely brighten the place up a lot. They don't affect the camera in a negative way. I thought it might be too bright, but it's not. It's definitely more light to the left than the right, which is fine because you could usually see better. Well, I guess you call that the right, whatever. See better on that side with them. I like them a lot. They were super cheap. They were like 15 bucks on Amazon. I got the idea from a forum or a website or Facebook, so it's not my idea, but it's working out well. Also, we're going to see this is a passenger van converted to a cargo van, which I picked up. Are you okay?
The lock.
The lock, right. Thank you. Yeah, before we go in, this was a nice little feature. It was only like 75 bucks. It's an actual OEM Ford part. Got that on Amazon too. And Mike was able to program it with my keys, so now I can, if I want to leave my keys in the van or somewhere else, or if I lose them, I can get into or lock in the van, easily get in and lock and unlock the van through the combination. All I have to do now is just remember the combination. Okay, so anyway, this is a passenger van converted to a cargo van for just weekend riding. This is not my daily driver, so if it was, I'd probably do things differently. All right, what do we got here? We took off the roof, the floor, and we're going to be putting back in, we'll start over here, we'll be putting back in some of these panels, but I didn't want to put these in because I do use compartments here. You know, I have like a rag. When I have a bike carrier, I put on the handlebars. You know, I have stuff hanging here, gloves. We also put a speaker case over, a speaker cover over the speakers to prevent it from getting damaged. Over here, we did put this back on, and you have this for your rear door, this for your rear door. We put a little handle here, and I didn't want a firm handle, which we actually have, because I was afraid as you were shutting the door, you'd slam your knuckles on the other side. So we got like a loose one here, so you can pull off to the side and get in. Obviously, we have a rubber floor. Underneath the rubber floor is a plywood floor. We got rid of the floor that it came with because raised it a few inches and had heater vents in it, which we was going to fill up with dirt, and you know, I wanted to be able to clean it nicely and not have it drop all dirt down in there. And this seems to be very durable and work well. Nice traction. This is the AC unit, which I don't like being here, but I'm actually dealing with it pretty good. And Mike boxed it out so I can put stuff on top of it. I actually put my toolbox on top of it, and this holds the toolbox from falling over. And just stuffed a little piece of foam in here so dirt doesn't get in. And we got a couple tools on the wall here, as you can see. A little piece of PVC holding my zip ties and my cutters. Three-way wrench, which I just dropped my socket. And what else we got over here? You know, a couple hooks. Mike was actually talented enough to not only cover this with plywood, which would be easy to do, but he actually found all the old bolt holes and actually bolted the wood paneling on the wall. And on the other side of the wood paneling, we have foam board. We have do we have this? I forget, Mike. Do we have this on the other side, this stuff?
No.
No, okay, just the foam board.
It's 2 layers, yeah.
And yeah, two inch pieces? Or 2 1-inch pieces?
It's 2-inch with spacers cut out.
All right, and then I really prefer function over form and the way it looks, but you could see it through the glass. So what we did is we just spray painted it black so you couldn't see it. And you know, that's on both sides over there. Also on the floor and the roof, we have this from this insulation, reflective insulation on the floor and the roof. And we did a couple tests with insulation, held it in front of speakers, tried to see which one had the most sound deadening, and we were real happy with this from Home Depot. I forget the exact name of it. Again, this is just a preliminary video, but go to Home Depot, you'll easily find it. Obviously a portable heater that just runs on propane, clips off of the wall real easily if you don't like it. I wanted to keep it low because obviously the heat rises. So when I put my bikes in here, what we do is we take the first bike, go in and into the corner like that, and just shove it against the wall, and that clears the bike. And the second one, we go in and shove it right into here, and what we do is we tie the bikes against the wall. When you tie both bikes in, this would really be nice if we had both bikes in here. When you tie both bikes in, there's so much room in the center to either put another bike, or to the walls that is, put another bike, So pulling to the side works really well. What we do is the side, first thing I do is I just start here and I grab the foot peg and I go what? And that really holds 90% of it. And it allows you to work on the front and the rear tying it up. If you tie the front up first, the back's falling over. So you just do the center one from the here to the foot peg, pull it handlebar right into the wall here, which eventually we're gonna put like a nice piece of rubber, truck mud flap, something here. And then do the other side like I said. This brick, if you turn the bike around, put it in backwards, you can just take this brick, put it right there, pull the wheel up to it, grab one corner here, and grab this right over here with your tie downs. Bike's not going anywhere. I've been doing that for years, it works great. Keep that right there. I didn't want to cover this because I do use these pockets, as you can see. Water for my dog. My dog comes with me a lot. His bowl. Got a towel down here. So I like having all these compartments. You know, eventually we're going to move. Well, maybe not those wires there, but you know, we keep some stuff out of the way if we have to. Mike actually was able. There was a lot of wires that ran from here, harnessed it. He actually found a way to run it back in here so it's out of the way. And he's still in the process of working on this one without cutting it and taking it apart. This is close to the best that we could get. But I have a feeling he's going to find a way to clean it up a little bit better. Got this from Home Depot here as well, and a bunch of LEDs. These LEDs were like, I don't know, like $13. And this van is bright inside at night. I mean, you don't lose anything. And, you know, they have on and off switches, but we don't use them. They use like no energy at all. We're going to eventually, you know, maybe put a molding or something here to tighten that up a little bit. You know, this is pretty obvious, the holders for my hat and for my tapes, you know. Keep those close to the end, you know, paper towel holder, all Pit Posse stuff. They actually make a lot of stuff. This, I don't remember I got this one, but they make a lot of great stuff for putting in, setting up a trailer or a van. This is actually really handy too. Like when my son is changing, he just, you know, he used to just leave his stuff on the floor. So now I say, hey, throw all your stuff in here. Real easy, cheap, Pit Posse. All right, so what do we got over here? So when the bike's coming in forward here, you know, they usually tie to the wall, but sometimes we tie stuff forward. Sometimes I load a bunch of bicycles, so now we got all these quick release pins here. And actually, if you put a tire in here, if you want to put all 3 bikes straight in, which we can do, it actually kind of holds it in place a little bit. You can have all different spots to tie to. That worked out well. This is really nice. Again, Mike was able to find, these are not screws, these are bolts that he was able to put into existing bolt holes. I don't know if a regular transit van has, or as I say, a cargo van has those bolt holes, but this one did. And you can't see, but I can tell you, this shelf is super sturdy. I mean, if you could fit it in here, you can put it on the shelf. And then we got bungees to hold things in. And this back here is a work in progress. What that is we have that connected to the inverter. So if I accidentally leave my inverter on, because it's, you know, LED, at least that'll remind me that, hey, you know, when I get out, there's some lights on. You can see it from the outside too. And I actually have left the inverter on for a couple days, and the van started right up. So I'm guessing it's not drawing too much when it's not being used. All right, so onto the bed. There's a lot of towels on the bed because, you know, we're always sitting on it dirty. Again, this is like just a race vehicle, and my dogs are in here. So this is actually a seat and a bed, and it's a fold down jackknife. Now what's interesting about a jackknife, if you look at the wall here, when I go to lay it down, it won't actually fall back. It comes forward. I'm gonna set it up so you can see. Just like this. See, so it still doesn't go back. So actually I can do that with the bikes on there if my son wants to sleep on here, or someone wants to take a nap, or we want a place to change while the van's warming up. So that worked out really well, this seat. I mean, it's not the most comfortable seat, but it works. And one thing I like about this particular seat is I didn't have to go underneath and find releases, which some of the other seats have. This one you can kind of do yourself. And Mike was able to bolt some seat belts into the floor. These aren't just, you know, these, and they come through the seat. They're not just hanging loose or connected to the frame. They're right into the bolts on the floor. I mean, I don't know if you'd ever need it that strong, but it's obviously good to have. Also, the seat itself is on a sliding track. So if we wanted to move the whole seat forward or backward a little bit, that's a little tricky because it really wasn't made for this. But it is on tracks, and you'd have to kind of grab both pins at the same time and find them. I haven't had a need to do that. There's plenty of room, but that is an option. Over here, we put a little LED light. So if someone's working back here, this is really nothing. This is my son's toy. Wet wipes, obviously a bunch of chargers with USB. And what we had to do is on the other side of the van there was a DC charger, so we ran a wire all the way across the van down to over here. So now when they're sitting back here, All right, we got another project here that we're just started today. It's definitely not done. It's this shower rod here, and we have a curtain. So if you don't want to be blasting the air or the heat and heating up the whole van when you just need it up here, we have a curtain that you can go from here to here, and it's cut out and goes to here. The problem is with the curtain right now is that I wanted a clear curtain, so we got a vinyl one, and you can see out your mirror and everything that's going on back there, but it's kind of like messy, bunches up. I'm actually going to cut a slot in it, so if you need to reach back and get to your cooler, you can do that. But it doesn't hang real flush yet, so I could use a cloth curtain, but then I won't be able to see through it. So I got to work on that, figure out what we're gonna do there with the curtain rod. And then there's this thing here. This was a pretty in-depth project that is working out really well. This TV is connected to this PS3 and that inverter. And we're actually getting a special PS3 box to hold all this stuff so I can take it out and bring it back in and not have to keep doing this. But this is a sine inverter too, which according to my research, and I'm not an expert on this at all, is really good for PS3. And we got that mounted into the battery box below the driver's seat. And we bought that on Amazon, got the extra length cables on Amazon. And this mount here, we got on eBay, but I actually found it somewhere else first. And what's interesting about this mount is that it put the TV right here when I wanted, in between the seats, so the kids could watch it. And it works out really well here. We got this self-made clip here that you just go like this. Again, I might be screwing this up because this is like only the second time I did this, but take that out and you drop it down and kind of just stays right there. And it looks a little wobbly in here, but and when you first take off and you're bouncing it down the driveway, you notice it. But once you get going, I asked the kids if they noticed it, and they're like, no, like at first they noticed it, then a minute later, they're like, not at all. And it seems to be working out really well. They watch movies, they play PS3. This TV I got on Amazon for $125, and I don't know if you could see, but it's actually a DVD player in itself, even though the PS3 is. This is a DVD player. The reason I wanted the PS3 is because if it's just showing movies, every time we got to go somewhere, I got to have a new movie, so I didn't want to deal with that. So now he's got the option for a movie, or he can play PS3, and we just took a piece of clear painter's tape and put it over the DVD spot here so it doesn't fill with dust. That's going to get a box so it doesn't fill it with dust when we're at the races. And this TV was cheap. It was like $125. You can get DVD players TVs that are DC right off the bat, and you don't have to deal with the inverter. I had to get the inverter because, again, I wanted the PS3. And I usually hold on to my vans for like 15 or more years, so I figured, what the hell, I'll do that. And another thing I like about this mount is we're going to replace these two bolts here with pins similar to this. And we're going to get another mount and put it right here. And we're only going to leave like a piece hanging down here. And if I want to watch movies outside, take these two pins out. If you notice, there's well, this is temporary now, but there's enough slack where we can just take it, put it right over here, and then it's a little movie show. We also ran a mini plug from here through here down to the stereo, so if I needed more sound, I can get more sound that way. But surprisingly, this has been enough. Like when I tested in my house, I had it at 100% volume, and I still couldn't really hear it loud enough. But I guess when you're this close, it's fine. So that's working out really well. I also put in these two speaker boxes here, that face forward, and took out the two speakers that were behind it, and that made a huge difference in the stock stereo. That's really good. And these are just cheap seat covers that I bought on eBay that came with headrest covers. I only had 2 headrests, and it came with, I guess, 3 or 4. So I just took the headrest covers and put it over it, so now it matches the seats. I mean, the seat covers are really kind of cheap. They were like $25 for the bench seat and all these. And they're not going to protect from any fluids, but, from all the food and stuff that people drop and whatever, and a little bit of dirt, it's good for that. And that made a huge difference. I also replaced the front speakers with some larger than OEM Pioneer speaker, like 3 or 4 ways. I forget what I did, but they were nice Pioneer speakers, but that surprisingly didn't help out as much as having these right behind the head here. And again, I don't know a lot about audio either, so maybe there's a better way to do it, but both of them was all kind of cheap, and it worked out. I didn't have to replace the stereo yet, which we know we can't do unless we do major mod or major customization. Also, my friend Ed gave me these like Z washers. So when you move this thing, it's tight, and it actually could stay here. They didn't come with those washers. I'm probably forgetting something, but that's pretty much it. I didn't do too much to the front here. I just got this little cell phone holder, which actually, oh, there is this carpeting down here that Mike put down, so it's nice. But I want to actually get another like easily removable carpet. But the heat comes from right here. And the strange thing is it takes forever to get hot from there. It gets hot in the front in no time at all. From right here though, it takes forever. However, when it does get hot, holy shit is it hot. My son dropped a water bottle down there and it was as hot as coffee from getting hot. So I guess that's a good and a bad thing. We also got these Husky floor mats, and I really think they're nice mats, but we're gonna actually cut a hole here, or cut a slot so we can get them out, because you get dirt on one side, you gotta take the whole thing out and you're gonna spill dirt. I don't like having just one piece. I like the way the Husky mats fit, but I'm gonna make it into two. This is a little cell phone holder I bought on eBay for 10 bucks. It's great, holds the phone, just goes right into the CD. It doesn't damage it in any way. Kind of just tightens on the open end over here. Here's a little mini plug that I got, but I actually found a way to get my Bluetooth to work, so that's good. And my favorite modifications I did all myself to this van is I put this rubber band right here. And this way, if I have anything, I just held it with a paper clip. Any papers, whatever, I need telephone numbers I gotta call, I don't have to be searching for them. All right, well that's my van, Moto van conversion, and hopefully you have some good ideas to help me make it even better. And I owe a lot of these ideas to everybody else who's posted them, and that's about it.